Let's take a moment. For some people, returning doesn't feel like relief. It feels like preparation. Preparation for routines, for responsibilities, for stepping back into something you never really stepped away from. And even if the pause was short, the thought of returning can feel heavier than the work itself. A lot of people assume the hardest part is the job, but often it's the reset. Switching back on, putting the mask back in place, remembering how to be functional again, especially when the time away didn't quite restore you the way you hoped it would. There's a quiet belief that rest should fix everything, that a little space should reset your energy, your motivation, your clarity. But real life doesn't work in clean chapters. Sometimes rest doesn't recharge you. It simply gives you enough space to notice how tired you've been for a long time. There's an old line that says, "Do not despise these small beginnings." Not because beginnings are exciting, but because they are fragile. They don't need pressure, they need patience. A lot of people return to routine already criticizing themselves for not feeling ready, for not feeling refreshed, for not feeling grateful enough. As if moving slowly is a failure instead of a natural response to carrying too much for too long. If you're heading back into something familiar, that doesn't mean you failed to rest properly. It doesn't mean you wasted the pause, and it doesn't mean you're starting again from nothing. You're carrying forward things you learned, even if you can't name them yet. Some people listening to this are returning to places that drain them, not because they want to, but because responsibility doesn't pause just because you are tired. And that doesn't make you weak, it makes you realistic. You don't need to give everything at once. You don't have to be sharp immediately. You don't have to prove you're fine. You don't have to pretend nothing weighs on you. You're allowed to re-enter slowly. Progress doesn't disappear just because you paused. It doesn't reset overnight. It doesn't vanish because you rested imperfectly. Going back doesn't erase what you've done. It just asks you to continue with what energy you have today. If today feels heavy, that doesn't mean the future is. It just means you're human, moving carefully through something real, and that counts more than rushing ever could. That's enough for today.